Luigi Mangiones is in New York and has been arraigned on new federal charges.
New York police and prosecutors finally have their suspect.
Mangiones spent Christmas behind bars.
I haven't seen any evidence that says that he's the shooter, so.
His lawyer calls those federal charges a pile-on.
He's innocent until proven guilty.
Luigi Mangiones is in New York and has been arraigned on new federal charges. New York police and prosecutors finally have their suspect. Mangiones spent Christmas behind bars. I haven't seen any evidence that says that he's the shooter, so his lawyer calls those federal charges a pile-on. He's innocent until proven guilty. In early December, the nation was rocked by a chilling and meticulously planned murder that took the life of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The scene had all the hallmarks of a professional hit, capturing the public's attention and raising immediate questions about the motive behind the crime. There's about 24 people here standing in support of Manana, chanting that there should be justice for Luigi. However, new developments have since surfaced that challenge the initial assumptions about the identity of the killer. Evidence has now come to light suggesting that Luigi, who was initially linked to the crime, is not the perpetrator. These new revelations cast doubt on the earlier narrative, prompting a re-evaluation of the case and raising even more questions about who is truly behind the assassination. The mystery surrounding Thompson's death continues to unfold, with the investigation taking unexpected twists and turns that point to a different direction. Luigi Mangiones, a 26-year-old I-League graduate from a prominent and wealthy Maryland family, was arrested in Pennsylvania. The man who police believe shot and killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, now under arrest. Luigi Mangiones was caught in Pennsylvania after a week-long manhunt. Authorities claimed they had overwhelming evidence tying Luigi to the crime: the alleged murder weapon, a large sum of cash, and even a purported manifesto. Despite the seemingly airtight case, Luigi's vehement claims of innocence and his plea of not guilty have fueled widespread speculation. Could this young engineer with a promising future truly be the cold-blooded killer behind such a calculated act, or is Luigi Mangiones merely a pawn in a far-reaching conspiracy? As the case unfolds, it has gripped the public's imagination, sparking fierce debates and a whirlwind of theories. Let's talk about the horror that was the United Healthcare CEO murder. Brian Thompson killed by this guy Luigi Mangiones. So bizarre, you know, this young guy, 26 years old. Is Luigi the vigilante some have painted him to be, or is he a convenient scapegoat for forces operating in the shadows? Let's unravel the intricate layers of this case to explore whether Luigi Mangiones could really be the mastermind behind this shocking crime, or if he's an innocent man caught in a web of deceit. The details of the crime itself read like a scene from a high-stakes thriller. On the day of the murder, Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, was ambushed outside his Manhattan hotel as he prepared to attend an investors' meeting in broad daylight. The assailant emerged, his steps deliberate, his actions precise. Clad in a hoodie and mask, he moved like a phantom, blending seamlessly into the morning chaos of the city. As Thompson exited the hotel, the ascent struck. He drew his weapon with mechanical efficiency, discharging multiple rounds with lethal accuracy. Surveillance footage captured every harrowing detail: the gunman's steady aim, his swift clearing of a weapon jam, and his escape into the maze of Manhattan streets. The suspect didn't panic, nor did he hesitate. Each movement was calculated, reflecting a level of training that was far beyond the capabilities of a novice. The manner which the crime was carried out, precise, detached, and without any apparent emotion, led investigators to suspect a professional hitman was involved. The aftermath of the shooting left the public and law enforcement alike grappling for answers. It wasn't just the boldness of the act that shocked the nation, it was the almost theatrical quality of the entire crime. In an era of constant surveillance and advanced investigative techniques, such an attack executed with precision and without an immediate lead was a rarity. Speculation ran wild as investigators scrambled to piece together clues. In the days following the murder, a strange discovery deepened the mystery. A backpack believed to belong to the suspect was recovered in Central Park. Investigators have found the backpack they believed the suspect was wearing at the time of the shooting. It turned up in Central Park, where the suspect was seen riding a bike tour. Directly after that shooting, NYPD used officers and drones to conduct a grid search today. However, its contents only added to the confusion. Instead of finding a weapon, ammunition, or personal belongings, officers discovered Monopoly money and a jacket, items that seemed more like props in a bizarre riddle than evidence in a murder case. The discovery of these seemingly meaningless items led many to believe that the backpack had been intentionally planted as a diversion. The meticulous nature of the crime, coupled with the strange contents of the bag, left investigators with more questions than answers. Despite their best efforts, leads were sparse and the case appeared to be veering toward a dead end. Retired law enforcement officials analyzing the available evidence were quick to draw parallels to contract killings, noting the methodical execution and apparent lack of personal motivation. Just as public interest in the case began to need a dramatic twist, reignited the frenzy days after the crime. Luigi Mangiones, a 26-year-old engineer with an Ivy League Education was arrested at a McDonald's in rural Pennsylvania. The arrest was initiated by a tip from a customer who claimed to recognize Luigi from the grainy surveillance footage that had dominated the news. Luigi was finally arrested on Monday from a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Someone spotted him there and alerted the cops. Authorities descended on the restaurant and apprehended Luigi without resistance. What they found in his possession would quickly make headlines and set the stage for a case that was anything but ordinary. In Luigi's backpack, police reportedly discovered an alleged murder weapon, a ghost gun alongside. I want to show you the gun that Mangiones had on him when he was arrested today. Okay, so this is what was found in his backpack, so let's just hold it up here. We'll tell you what you know about it. We know that police say that gun was made on a 3D printer, that it also had a suppressor with it in the backpack with a type of silencer, $88,000 in cash, and a fake ID that was purportedly used to book a room in New York City. Authorities also claim to have found a manifesto that detailed grievances against the health care industry. The narrative constructed by investigators was clear. Luigi was a disgruntled individual who had taken matters into his own hands to exact revenge on the system, but as the details of the case emerged, troubling inconsistencies began to surface. For one, the precision and execution of the crime seemed incompatible with Luigi's background. While he was a bright and accomplished engineer, there was no evidence to suggest he had the kind of training or experience required to carry out such a calculated act. The act itself, methodical and devoid of any visible emotion, pointed to a professional killer, not a young man with no known history of violence. Luigi's demeanor during the arrest and subsequent court appearances only deepened the mystery. He appeared calm and resolute, maintaining his innocence and insisting that he was being framed. The supposed motive in this case has been one of the most puzzling aspects, raising more questions than answers. Authorities initially claimed that Luigi Mangiones' actions stemmed from a deeply personal vendetta against the health care industry. According to this narrative, Luigi, frustrated over what he perceived as inadequate coverage for his chronic back pain, decided to take matters into his own hands. He also wrote about suffering from debilitating back pain, police say, in the most drastic way imaginable. However, this theory began to crumble almost as soon as it was presented. Key details about Luigi's life and circumstances contradicted the very foundation of the prosecution's claims, leaving many to wonder if this motive was an oversimplified, manufactured explanation designed to close the case quickly. To start, Luigi's family wasn't even insured through United Healthcare. The company Brian Thompson served as CEO. United Healthcare says Mang was not insured by the company. This fact alone undermined the argument that Luigi had a personal grudge against the corporation. Digging deeper, it became evident that Luigi's medical needs had been adequately covered by a different insurance provider. In fact, his chronic back pain had been addressed years prior, with his insurance paying for a back surgery that allowed him to resume his daily activities without significant issues. The image of Luigi as a disgruntled victim of healthcare bureaucracy simply didn't align with the reality of his situation. If he had no direct ties to United Healthcare nor any reason to harbor resentment toward the company, why would he target its CEO? Compounding these doubts was the alleged manifesto that authorities claim to have found in Luigi's possession. This document supposedly detailed Luigi's frustrations with the healthcare system, painting him as someone driven to extreme action by systemic failures. However, many who examined the manifesto noted its suspicious nature. The tone and content of the document seemed contrived, as if it had been written to fit a predetermined narrative rather than expressing genuine grievances. Critics argued that the manifesto felt like an afterthought, an attempt to connect Luigi to a motive that didn't truly exist. It raised the possibility that this so-called evidence had been planted or at least exaggerated to solidify the case against him. Then there's the issue of the sheer convenience of the evidence found in Luigi's possession at the time of his arrest. Authorities